Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from through Mississippi. This is actually my second attempt to make today's Sippin' and Spillin'. The first one I did was far too chaotic, and I couldn't subject you guys to that. It was like my hamster was completely off the wheel. I was trying to do it with the tripod while I was trying to do chores, and it was a chaotic hot mess, and there were animals, and I just was like, I can't, it's bad. I haven't even looked at it, but I'm sure it's bad. But it's been a hectic day. This morning it was hot. It was like, I swear it was probably, 70 degrees this morning. It was beautiful yesterday. And I knew we were going to get a little bit of rain. Guys, remember I just moved, I told you I moved our first batch of chicks out to the pasture, and I'm waiting on my second batch to come. Now, I fully expected, normally when I get a batch of chicks, they say you get a call that they're shipping Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I normally get a call by Monday night, Tuesday morning at the latest, and I usually get them by Thursday. Well, here we are Wednesday evening. I know you guys are seeing this on Thursday, but Wednesday evening, I have not gotten a notification yet that they have shipped, which is starting to make me nervous because the weekend mail is very different than the weekday mail, if you know what I mean. And so I'm a little bit worried about them being shipped over the weekend and getting them successfully. So, I'm a little nervous about that. If I don't hear anything by tomorrow morning, I'm gonna call the hatchery and just be like, it's fine if there's an issue and there's like a delay. I just want to know, like, is it going to be, if it's going to be next week, that's fine. I just need to like mentally know. I would be fine if it was a week in between. That would be fine. But anyway, so I'm waiting on that, right? Which is one of the reasons why I moved the birds when I did. They needed moved. Don't get me wrong, they needed moved. But I was also like, oh, my other birds are going to be here. I need these guys out of the garage. Need to make room for the second wave. And so long story short, it was beautiful this morning, and I knew we were supposed to get some showers this afternoon, some possible light thunderstorm, but like showers, nothing major, right? And I see like some dark clouds moving in, and I was just kind of finishing up morning chores, and I thought, well, I'm getting done just in time. It looks like, it's fixing to really rain. And so I get it all done, and it's starting to get, like, I can tell it's the wind's shifting. It's starting to, you can feel it. And I'm like, okay. So I go inside. I had just filled the puppies' feeder bins that they have in their pen. And I get inside. No sooner do I get inside and close the door behind me, the craziest gust of wind outside of, like, I don't know what. I mean, it was like, easily, I would say it was probably a 60 mile an hour gust of wind, and it was just like it just came out of nowhere, and I just watched all of the leaves and all of the tree limbs and all of the things just go across, and all the animals, like, all I could watch, I saw all the birds like all the birds hunkered down, all the feathers went flying, like, just right. And I told Mike later, I said, there's one piece of the tin roof on the chicken coop that was waving. I was like, oop, you got to get on there and tack that back down. But or I need to, somebody needs to. But anyway, it was just crazy. And then the skies opened up, and just as that was starting to happen, I see that in the chaos of that wind and the puppy getting scared, the combination of those two things happening at once knocked the full feeder bin over. And I see that it is on its side. And I know because it's full that it's probably just dumped a bunch of feed. And those things do not topple, like, easily. So I'm like, great. So I go racing back out there and get the dog food back in the thing and fix it so it's not going to fall. And it starts just pouring, and I'm like, lovely. So I managed to still get wet this morning. And then I came in and finished doing everything else I needed to do, and then I've been sitting in there editing for quite some time. Frankie's about to hop in the car, by the way. I'm actually here picking her up for her from her FFA trip that she just got back from. She was supposed to get back at 2:30 this afternoon, or by 3. She's supposed to be able to make it on the bus. My plan was to pick her up from school, and hey, I'm filming Sipping and Spilling, by the way, and be able to grab her and get back and to the church, because we had a thing at church today. And I'll just move this but anyway, but unfortunately that did not happen, because so she missed the thing at church today.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. And so now I got to take her back to church to drop her off for youth, and then race home to do our live, and then go back to church and pick her up. That is my Wednesday today. But I did get my video for Friday almost completely finished. I just have to finish adding in the music and render it, and then I will be Golden Pony Boy. So
what book is that from?
that is from The Outsiders.
Do you ever even read that book?
Why do you act like I don't know things?
I don't know. I don't.
You're funny.
I just felt like I don't know. Was it you or Dad that didn't read it? It must have been Dad then.
It was probably Dad.
I knew it was one of y'all that didn't read it.
I don't know. Anyway, I think it was me that said I had never seen the movie.
Oh yeah, you said you'd never seen the movie. Okay. Yeah,
I never watched the movie.
Movie's so good.
But anyway, I never watched it. I've seen like clips here and there, but I've never watched it. Anywho, so long story short, today was a little bit hectic and chaotic, but it is, oh, good job. Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, stop breaking the law.
Breaking the law. So I wanted to get that video completely done, like done and in the can, but that didn't happen. But so I will have to, after I get back from getting her, I'll have to kind of stay up and finish tweaking it and finishing editing it tonight before Betty bye. But that's all right. That is what it is. And get that all squared away. But you know, that weather today was crazy. It came out of nowhere. As you know, I mean, usually, luckily, you know, I checked on everybody. Everybody was okay afterwards. But you know, I don't like to have a lot of rain right after I move the birds out to pasture. And so I was a little bit like, when it was really coming down for a good solid 10 minutes, and then it was gone. Then it was like, then it stopped. But it got cold after that. So I will check on them again this evening just to kind of see how they're doing. They've been outside for a few days. They are pretty hardy and feathered out. So I'm not like super worried. But it did drop a good, I don't don't even know what temperature it is outside right now, but it got bone chilling.
51, but it dropped to like 30 for a while.
It did drop, yeah, like it dropped harsh earlier. So,
not in Jackson, but down here it did.
Yeah. So it was chilly Billy. And that was that cold wind that was just like cold, wet wind. So it was not, do not recommend. And you know, the other day, you know, last 2 days, like a lot of people have been saying it was beautiful everywhere. And then all of a sudden, like people were saying like, oh, shoot, you're right. I'm taking you to church. You should. Why didn't you say something sooner?
Well, because I didn't realize you were going that way until right now.
Going the wrong way. I wouldn't have even gone down this street.
Hey, how was I'm not legally supposed to be driving.
Well,
so how was I supposed to know where you were supposed to go? Don't be on autopilot while you're driving. Rule number 1.
Because I need to go home. Anyway. I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm just the chauffeur. I'm the Uber. I get 0 stars and no tips. That's 100% accurate.
No. You don't get any stars because you're not on the Uber app.
Oh, well.
So whose fault is that?
I don't know.
And you don't get any tips because you're not on the Uber app. The Uber app, whatever it is. I don't know.
Here's a tip. The sky's blue.
Your thing just went all
I know.
willy-nilly.
Sorry, it's because this road's super bumpy.
It's a city-maintained road.
Yeah,
you
some
can
of
tell.
the city-maintained roads are not so maintained occasionally. But anyway, so the animals were okay, but it was definitely like it got kind of hairy there for a minute.
Harry?
Yeah, because it was quite what it was. So I don't know what to tell you.
I gotta get my chapstick out of the bag.
All right, well, do it quickly because.
I will.
All right.
I will.
All right, I love you. Goodbye. Have
Love
fun.
you.
Anyway, and then you guys may remember I got those pallets the other day that I was offloading from the vehicle, and I've got some ideas in mind for this. Bye, hon. Love you. See you later. That didn't close. Thank you. I've got this project in mind that I want to use some pallets for. Mike is completely against this pallet. And this pallet project idea that I have to make a little stall because he thinks that it's not a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Frankie thinks it's a good idea. Daddy doesn't think it's a good idea. Oftentimes, Mike and I disagree on functionality of things. And sometimes that can get to be a little bit of a headbutting issue for us. However, I am not generally the builder in the family. Like Frankie has become, is getting to be a decent builder, and Mike is a pretty decent carpenter. But sometimes because he doesn't work with the animals, what he thinks is going to function well 180 degrees does not. And I'll tell him like, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, like for specific reasons. And he'll be like, yeah. And he'll be like, well, that won't work. And I'll be like, but it needs to because I need X, Y, and Z. And then he'll still do whatever thing that he thinks it should be because of how things should be built. And that's fine. But then it's not as functional as I need it to be for the animals, which then becomes a problem for me when I'm cleaning the area, when I'm maintaining the animals, and just in general, like functionality wise for me with the animals. So we do tend to kind of butt heads a little bit on some of that stuff. And I don't know enough about the building stuff to be able to, I guess, voice my opinion correctly or in a way that makes sense to him sometimes. Even when I will then like show him examples or explain to him, so we just don't always see things eye to eye. There's nothing that can be done about it, homie. It's a red light. It is what it is. But rush hour in our little town sometimes gets quite interesting. It's like the one time of day that I don't like being down on Main Street here, but it is what it is. And it's about to get crazy because that car is gonna, Anyway, but it is. Thanks a lot, dude. Well, you decided to not go. Anyway, I got honked at because that person let me just explain my case real quick because I know you heard the honk. So what happened was, it was a green light, was a yield for the oncoming traffic to turn, right? I'm sitting there waiting, the people were going, right? The one person was a good hanging back. I waited for them to go after the next car went. They did not go. So I went ahead and turned because there's people behind me waiting to turn too. So I turned and then they honked, even though they were at a dead stop when they had the right of way. Anyway, that's pleading my case. Nobody died. So I just took initiative is what I did. Do with that information what you will. So that being said, I love my husband. He's very good at building stuff that I need built for the animals. As you guys know, he gets it about 90% of the way, and then he moves on to his next projects because he gets ADD about it. I get frustrated with that because, as you know, I have birds currently escaping from my chicken coop, ripping up my flower bed because the coop is not finished, and that drives me crazy. So I need to come up with a solution for that, like ASAP, because it's driving me nuts. And unfortunately, between what's left of today, which I don't have time to deal with today, number one, running out of daylight, number two, it's Wednesday night, we're about to do our live, and then tomorrow is slammed and Friday is slammed. So the earliest I can really problem solve it is going to be like probably like Friday evening into like maybe Saturday morning, which I can do that. I think I have enough, even, but see, here's the thing, is then he'll get upset that I didn't like consult him. But then if I ask him about it, he'll say, well, no, I'm going to do it. And I know he means well, but I don't know. We're going to have to have a meeting about it, I guess, because he loves to have a meeting. The man loves a meeting more than anything in the world. I can't just say, like, it has to be an official, like, a meeting. You can't just have a conversation about it. It's got to be like a meeting. It's like, it could have been an email, but it's got to be a meeting. He's that guy. But, bless him. But, you know, it's to the point now where I'm like, okay, there's about 5 or 6 chickens that have gone complete, like half my flock of chickens have gone completely rogue and figured out how to get out the top of the roof of the coop because it's not dried in. So it's a problem. I don't like it. So I just need to remedy it, and I'm just fixing to figure it out myself. And I don't care if it doesn't look right. I don't care if it's not what he meant for it to be like. At this point, I think I'm just gonna fix it. And it may not be right, and it may not be how he would have done it, but I think I'm gonna just do it because I just can't deal with those birds being out 24/7 anymore. It's starting to get really annoying. And all the work that I did in my garden bed, they've just completely undone. So that's annoying. And that's not where they're supposed to be. And I love my birds, and you know, it's not. And plus, there's a few of them that, well, all of them. There's 2 of them that are laying in one spot on the other side of the coop, so at least I know where they're laying. There's one of them that's laying underneath the shop overhang, so at least I found that. But there's like 1 or 2 of them that I have no idea where they're laying, and I haven't found it, the clutch. So somewhere there's a pile of eggs because these girls have gone rogue. I have no idea. And that's not good. I don't like that because, number one, that is a draw for predators, and number 2, it's a waste of eggs. So it's not bueno. So I need to problem solve this weekend. I need to get on it. Spin it, rotate it, slap it up, staple it, tape it, glue it, iron it on. I don't know, but I need to put something up there to make it not a hole on the top anymore, and just call it good. And then simultaneously, the other side of the coop that was originally supposed to be the brooder and feed room side, which is now apparently only going to be the feed room side. We've got, I guess, a different solution now for the brooder. There's a hole that they can get through over the top to still get out through there. So I need to deal with that too, and patch that at the same time, because that's just, you can't do one without the other. So I need to work on that in the next few days and get that like handled, because it's to the point now where it's just driving me nuts. So I'll get it done. I'll do it. It'll happen. I'm going to talk to Mike about it, because it's one of those things where I've mentioned it a few times. I also need him to finish fixing the plucker plug, because that's broke, and you know, for too much longer. We're gonna be processing birds, and I don't want to do it by hand, and I don't want to buy a new plucker, and I need that fixed. So I know he had it pulled apart the other day. Well, still pulled apart, sitting in the shop, but I don't know where we're at the fixing level of it. So gotta find that out too. But anyway, guys, that's where I'm at with that. So I'm hoping to maybe do a few more, I guess, building projects, which I have mixed feelings on that. I don't really want to be doing the building projects because I kind of, that's sort of Mike and Frankie's territory. However, because we kind of all sort of have our categories, I guess you could say. Like, I do all the animal stuff. Nobody, like, Mike and Frankie, Mike does most of the gardening stuff. He enlists her to help with some of it. The building stuff, he has her, they do together. But all of the other things, I kind of do, like, I have my own things that I sort of am already in charge of and responsible for. So I kind of don't want to take on, like, one more thing to start trying to, like, incorporate into all of that. But if I'm doing it, like, sporadically and once in a while, maybe it won't be a thing. So I just have to not be too good at it that he doesn't then expect me to do all of the projects, because I can't do it all the time, because I will have no time to edit, no time to do the animal things, no time to do the running around of the child and the cooking of the dinner and the making of the meals and the taking care of the household and all the other stuff that I'm responsible for, the wifely stuff that I have to do, the mom stuff that I have to do, that outside of just YouTube and editing and filming and all of that stuff that takes time. So it's like you get to the point where you're like, I can only do so much in a 24-hour period, and I'm running out of 24 hours in a day. So I guess we'll see. But I think I can handle maybe like a few small projects once in a while when I have gaps, because occasionally you get a gap where you don't have quite as much stuff going on, and you can kind of squeeze something in. So maybe that'll happen. We'll see. So anyway, guys, I hope you are having a blessed day. I hope my chicken nuggets get here soon. I hope they're not traveling over the weekend. I worry about that because, I don't know, it makes me nervous. So I know, like, our postal workers over the weekend, sometimes things are run a little differently than they are during the week. So we'll see. But anyway, I hope you have a blessed week. I hope you're having a blessed week. And